Pardon me?
Everybody get their mics.
Okay.
Coach, want to wish you congrats on Coach of the Year, Game of the Year.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Where was that go first?
Glenn, what did you see in that second half?
We were having trouble getting looks and lanes, and I thought, we battled. Our D was good. We got a couple of turnovers that were a little uncharacteristic that we didn't like, and we obviously didn't get balls to drop. So that's the game. I told them beforehand it was, you're investing in a series here. So this is, in my mind, we're at halfway, right? We're at halftime. So we'll do the peel back and the takeaways and be better tomorrow.
Coach, this game had a lot of lead changes early on. Did you guys find it hard to keep momentum going?
No. They're the defending champs for a reason, right? So at no point did I think we were running away and hiding with the game, right? I thought it was going to be back and forth, and I think it was for the most part. It got a little loose towards the end there, but I think we were in the battle till, I don't know what time was on the clock when it got separated, but it was, it was late in the game. So it was kind of the game I expected, but we thought we'd be on the other end of the ledger. But it's a series, right? So you invest in each game and each shift, and you try to get some momentum, positive momentum at the end, and have some things that you can capitalize and work on going into tomorrow.
Glenn, did Buffalo do anything specifically defensively in that second half to kind of slow you guys down offensively?
No, I don't think so. I think they're good, right? So they played well, and Vino's a good goalie and he makes big saves, and that's kind of how the world works, right? So you're playing against a good D and a good goaltender, and it's not going to be easy. So that's how it kind of went in the second half.
It's been talked about all season long that you guys have been the youngest team. You're also a small team. You've said that you guys move quick because of that. But it seemed like you guys were the big bad bullies for 3 quarters. You were pushing them around, and they're more experienced. How proud of you are you of those guys to be able to kind of push those guys around on the other side?
I've said all along, right? We compete, right, and we compete hard. So they, and that's, you don't get to this game and this end point without that level of compete, and both teams have it, and both teams are going to go after each other. So it's going to be, that push back from both groups, and trying to exert dominance at different parts and different areas. And they were better longer tonight, and that's going to be our challenge for tomorrow.
Coach, what's one area where that first half you guys did well that you kind of went away from in that second half?
I don't really think we went away from anything. I think we had some pretty good looks that, Matt made some good saves on. I thought there was a couple, inside leg, there was a couple quick sticks. It's, you need breaks, right? You need some of those balls to drop, the one that hits the inside of his foot and goes out the other way. You need that to go in, right? And then that's a little bit of the momentum you have, and they're a polished team, right? They don't let you off the mat very easily. So you got to take advantage of chances that you get.
What's it going to take tomorrow to Glenn to go on what's going to be a crazy atmosphere in Buffalo, and even this thing up and bring it back here for a game 3?
You know what? I think more of what you saw in the first half, right? Just, that pace of play and again, it's, I'll have to watch tape, right? Because you're in your mind's eye remembering what happened on all these plays, but I thought we generated some good looks that didn't drop. Dougie was good. It's championship lacrosse, right? It is, the margins are very thin, and you won't get anything easy. And that's the messaging afterwards, right? You got to expect it, right? And you've got to be ready to play hard. You got to be ready to do the little things better, longer. And that was them tonight, and that's our challenge for tomorrow.
Coach, you've gone into Banditland once this year and won. How confident are you that you can do it again and level this series?
Very confident. To be honest, venue doesn't come into the equation for me. I don't think, we play on the turf. It's not like we got to run through the crowd. So we're on the floor. I'll play in the parking lot. Like, I don't care, right? Like, it really, venue doesn't matter to me. I think it's just execution in between the boards, right? And the crowd is going to be loud and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, I don't really notice it from my venue. And you know, when I was a player, it was all about what was in front of you. So, and I think our guys approach it that way too.
Dougie was really electric for the majority of the game, and he's been that way all season. What can you just say about his performance? And obviously, I imagine you expect the same tomorrow.
Yeah, he was great. I thought Dougie was good. He gave us a chance to win, which he's done all year. And that's the battle when you have two really good goaltenders, right? So I think both goalies were really good. And Dougie certainly gave us an opportunity to win, right? He made some good point-blank saves, and we just didn't do enough on the offensive end. And by enough, I mean, we just didn't bury. I mean, we generated chances. They didn't drop. You know, we're going to need a little bit more ball luck tomorrow.
How did you feel about the transition, as far as the offense created by your transition versus your settled offense?
You know, I thought both teams actually did a pretty good job of shutting it down. There wasn't a whole lot of transition in between the lines. It turned into more of a, you know, sort of a half court type of thing. So I thought both teams were, you know, responsible, and you know, there was stuff at the end there where we were pressing and doing things which I don't put into the equation. But I think, you know, for the most part, it wasn't really a factor.
Just kind of both teams' defense, not as much the goalies, but just the teams hitting the shift changes right.
Yeah, like I don't think there was any transition goals for either team. So I think both groups, you know, did a good job of responsible getting on and off the floor, which you have to do, right? Because you can't. Those are difference makers. Those in power plays.
Will you be breaking down film on the bus going out there tonight, or
We're not on a bus actually. I'm in the Clark Mobile driving to Buffalo, so I'm heading out right now. Yeah, no bus. It was just.
Does the team go right now, or?
Yeah, everybody's leaving tonight. All the players are leaving tonight. We got a bunch of rental cars. The way we traveled with guys coming in multiple ways, flights, cars, like we're spread out so much. It just wasn't really practical. So guys are carpooling. We've got 3-4 guys in a car just to shift it off and make sure guys are safe and everything else. But yeah, we're driving.
Anything else?
For some of the players, it's almost a home game with the travel, though. I mean, so it puts them close to home.
Yep.
I mean, do you think that affects it's so close back and forth? I mean, to kind of be somewhere familiar, or do you think it doesn't matter? It's just everybody's going back and.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're athletes, they're high level athletes that want to compete, and to be honest, I mean, I think we've probably got a better record on the road than we had at home this year anyway. Like, I think it's just, I honestly think that the home floor thing is more of a, you know, I think it gets over amplified a little bit. I think that, you know, you're you know, the one thing about it is you're more comfortable in your routines and all those kinds of things, and it's, you know where the hotel is and where all that stuff is. But I don't know if it'll be a factor, to be honest. I mean, if you can't be charged up wherever you're playing at this point, you're probably not playing at this level. So I think it will be a non-factor.
Coach, what do you think Buffalo does so well that you guys are hoping to key in on next game?
Well, they're really skilled individually, offensively. They get you on the run because they're big and fast, so they force you to slide to help, and then they're really good at taking advantage of those little slips. So the challenge is containing their athleticism and trying to maintain some offense without having to help on ball.
You mentioned skilled individuals. Josh Burns, one of them, MVP for Buffalo this year. Did you feel like you had to put more guys on him just to contain him that whole night?
Well, no. I mean, I think sometimes when he beats your coverage, that's when you've got to slide, and that's when we get into trouble. So whenever we got into those situations where they would turn the corner or get us on the run a little bit, guys are getting in those hedging, those sliding positions, and that's when you get in a bit of trouble, right? The ball's moving, and you lose some coverage, and you're playing a bit of catch-up. And that's what they do to you. That's why they're good.
All set?
Yep. Okay.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.